Hey guys, we are huge breakfast people in this family, and I love to surprise the kids with new treats over the holidays. So today I'm going to share with you one of their absolute favorites this season, chocolate peppermint donuts.
I'm Meg, and I'm passionate about finding ways to make life with kids easier in the kitchen.
So let's go through our ingredients. For your dry ingredients, you need flour, sugar, dark cocoa powder, baking soda, and salt. Then for your wet ingredients, you'll need milk, 2 eggs, sour cream, vegetable oil, and vanilla. And finally, for your topping, you'll need powdered sugar, a little milk, some peppermint extract, and some decorations. And then of course, you'll need a donut pan. The first thing we'll do is mix all of our wet ingredients, starting with 2 eggs, which I'll put into a mixer. You can also hand mix this, but it's a lot easier in the mixer. I've got some milk. I'm using a 2% today. You can switch it up, but I do recommend sticking to a dairy milk. And the next thing I have is some vegetable oil. You can also use some melted coconut oil. And then I have my sour cream. You can substitute with a low-fat Greek yogurt, but I definitely prefer the sour cream. And finally, a splash of vanilla. And now I'm gonna mix until the eggs are completely beaten. Next up, we'll mix all of our dry ingredients. Some people like to whisk them all together before incorporating them into the wet. I think that's just an extra step, so I'm just gonna add them one by one to my bowl, starting with some granulated sugar, and then a beat, followed by a little bit of cocoa powder, and I'm using a dark variety today. You can also use the traditional unsweetened cocoa powder, but I love the dark color that this adds to the donut. And now before we add our flour, I am gonna scrape the bowl down. Before I incorporate my flour, I will add some baking soda and salt to it, and then I'm gonna add my flour just a little bit at a time so it doesn't splash out. Now that my batter is ready, I can put it into my donut pan that I've greased a little bit. In order to make that a little bit easier, because it can get pretty messy, I'm gonna use this trusty old plastic bag. I'm just gonna put it inside the cup and turn the edges out over it so it has a nice place to stand. And now I can spoon my batter into the plastic baggie. You can see how dark and fudge-like this batter is. I love it. Now that my batter is in, I want all the batter to kind of drip to the tip of this bag, so I'm just gonna shake it a little bit, and then I'm gonna twist it to get a lot of the air out. And with a pair of scissors, I'm just gonna snip a little bit off the bottom, and that way I can pipe it right into the donut hole pan. This recipe makes about 9 donuts, so if you have a smaller pan like I do, you will have leftover batter and you will be tempted to use it. Don't do it, you will end up with donut muffins, and that's what we call a donut fail. Instead, just use a regular old muffin pan and make some actual muffins. Now my oven has been preheated to 350 degrees, and I'm gonna pop these in for about 9 minutes. My donuts are out of the oven and they need to cool completely before I can glaze them, so while they're cooling, I'm going to make my glaze. I have some powdered sugar in a bowl which has already been sifted, and to it I'm going to add a little bit of milk and give it a whisk. I always think there's not enough liquid for this to come together, but it always does. And now I'm gonna add a little bit of peppermint extract, and a little bit does go a long way with this flavor. Once my donuts are cool, I'm actually gonna warm my glaze in the microwave for about 12 to 15 seconds. It makes it thinner and easier to dip your donuts into. Now that my glaze is warm, it's time for the fun part, decorating your donut. So I'm gonna pop the first one out, and then I'm gonna use the side of the donut that was in the pan to actually glaze it, because that's the least pretty side. And I'm gonna dip it right in and kind of twirl it. And I'm gonna set it down and let it cool before I reglaze it a second time. And now I'm quickly gonna add my crushed candy cane. These came out so cute and they taste even more delicious. I also love to mix it up by using some red and green sprinkles on top of a donut, or even just some simple powdered sugar for an elegant look. So there you have it, a delicious holiday treat for breakfast. I hope you guys give this recipe a try and have a wonderful holiday season. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the new year. Bye guys. What does mommy have for you?
Donut.
Does it look so yummy? It's for me though, right? Huh? Is it so yummy?